Well, hello there, guys. It is great to be with you on the Inspirations for Your Life show. Welcome, 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 everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, everyone. It is so great to have you here. Welcome to the Inspirations for Your Life show. Thank you so much for joining me. This is your very first time joining me. I want to say thank you. And of course, I want to say welcome. If you have been here many times before, whether it's once or a million times, I don't know, I lost track. I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. And of course, I want to say welcome. If you don't know about me, feel free to check out believemeachieve.com. That is after the show is over because we got a lot to talk about today, including my big reveal of my new book today. Yeah, I've been waiting for this for a long time. We'll be getting into more of that. That big question mark is going to be answered well, before the 30 minutes are out. It's actually a 28-minute show. So we're not going to give the title in the first 2 minutes. So sorry about that, guys. Incidentally, if you guys are thirsty, if you're hungry, I don't want you to be parched or anything like that. Feel free to go grab something now before we actually do the real kickoff of the show. I've got my RO water here with some delicious lemon. Really, really good. So great to have you again. Get that and come on back because we are going to start the show. Again, this is Inspirations for Your Life, everyone. If you are new here, I want to thank you. And I want to let you know that this is the big reveal and the dedication. Yes, it is the big reveal. So good afternoon, everyone. Good evening, or wherever you are from. Thank you so much for choosing to be with me here today. I know a lot of you are busy, and I appreciate that you're watching us live at the real dedication, or you're taking time after in your busy schedule to watch the replay. This is not just another live stream, guys. This is a very personal moment in my life that I am so privileged and grateful to share with every one of my viewers and my supporters. Today is the day. Yes, today is actually the day. Today, I officially reveal my new book. Yes, I'm not telling you it yet. And more. Importantly, today, I dedicate it to two people who made everything possible. We'll be doing that later. Who is that? My parents. So, why this matters so much? There was a time in my life where I felt completely drained, not just tired, but mentally, emotionally, and directionally exhausted. Like I couldn't go on anymore. I think many of us have been there at some point in their life. And, if you have not been there, you're lying. You have been there. It's just you probably think, you're perfect. You're doing everything you think you're supposed to do, but then something just feels off. You get tired. You go through the motions. Life just sort of passes you by. And what you think the answer is to work harder, but all it does is slip through your fingers faster. The key, guys, is awareness. And that comes out in my book. See, that was what period forced me, stop, all in, to reflect on this, to really look at where I was and where I wanted to go, not where somebody else wanted me to go. So, yes, the book. And how did that experience that I've had in life over 14 years ago, something came to me, an epiphany moment, right? That I never, ever expected. This book. There was another book I was supposed to write before this, but for some reason, that book didn't come out. And this was the book I was meant to write. That book's still going to come out, but, you have to let things flow. So not just words on paper or sounds on a track or words on a screen, but my personal journey. That's right. It is an autobiography. I took the pain to also make sure that this is not some flim-flam book that you just click online and print. No, I actually went to the Library of Congress to have my book cataloged. A journey through burnout, awareness, boundaries, and rebuilding with true intention. How many people do you know in life actually do things for intention, for the reason that matters? This is not about theory, guys. This is about my real life experiences, real lessons. And when we think about doing something, maybe you get up in the morning and you find yourself going through the day, and then the day's over, and you're like, oh my gosh, what am I supposed to do? My day's over. And your days keep bleeding into the next, but you're not enjoying the moment. In the moment, you're just rushing to get through it, rushing for lunch, rushing to finish an assignment, rushing to do your work, rushing to exercise. Do you rush every darn moment of your life? I hope not. Because if you do, your life will be over and you'll be like, I didn't enjoy my life. If you choose to be aware of things, your life will slow down. Even if you're busier, it will slow down. Even when you eat, guys. So this is very important with you. And before, ladies and gentlemen, I choose to share the title with you, I want you to understand something. This book is for anyone who has ever felt stuck, felt overwhelmed, questioned their direction, or knew deep down they were capable of more. If that's you, this book is meant for you. I know you want to know what the title is. So today, yes, it's coming, guys. It's coming. This book came after a lot of hours. And I got to tell you, the first time I got the book in my hand, just going to tell you this, I almost had tears. I mean, just being able to hold that book in my hand just a few days ago was an earth turning moment. So it is my privilege, it is my honor to officially reveal the title of my book. Ready for the title, guys? Are you ready? I'm going to share the title with you. You've been asking for it, you've been waiting for it. How many days? How many weeks? How many months? I know. Here comes the title. Are you guys ready? Drained to Driven. Yes. You now know it's live, and in just a few moments, it will be available on our link tree, so it'll be available. Drained to Driven is about transformation. It is about taking that moment where everything feels heavy and turning it into something, well, powerful. So let's dig a little more into the title, because being drained is not the end, guys. It is often the beginning. Something bad or hard or difficult or complicated has to happen before something good can happen. I've always said to you guys, success doesn't happen where it's easy. It don't, it won't, it never will. Success starts to happen where it gets difficult, where it gets complicated, where it gets uncomfortable. I didn't say painful, I said uncomfortable. There's a difference. So the beginning of awareness, the beginning of change, the beginning of who you were meant to be, not someone else's, your own dream. Right? But this moment, it's not just about the book. The book is just one thing. It's about two people who made this possible for me. Who are those people? There are two people in my life who have supported me through everything that I've done, through the highs, through the challenges, through the moments where I didn't even know what direction I was even going. And today, I have the honor, the proud privilege and pleasure of dedicating this book to them. So my mom is sitting on one side right here. You can see her. My dad is sitting on the other side right here just because of logistics. So I'm going to go ahead and hand him the book right now and put him on camera. My dad's name is John as well. And so he's going to go ahead and show the book to the camera. And he's going to unwrap the book for us right here live on camera. Go ahead and open the book, Dad. This is the moment you guys have all been waiting for. And I invite my parents now to join me in celebrating this by taking part of this first unwrap. It's my privilege and pleasure to present the very first copy of Drained to Driven to you. And my dad's trying to get the book unwrapped here. My mom in a second. Because of logistics, we couldn't. Here. Hey, thanks, guys. All right, so he's getting the tissue paper off. So it's a hardcover book, guys. There's the book. There's the back. There's the front. Drained to Driven. Okay. Here's my mom over here. Okay. And as a formal thing that's usually done when you dedicate a book to someone special, you write a dedication. When you get my book, hey guys, hi everyone. Dedication's on page 3. And here's the official dedication. To my parents, there are no words in the English language to express my gratitude for your continued unwavering support, your steady love, and your quiet strength you've modeled my entire life after. I have to say something before I finish this. My mom was like, I don't know if I'm going to like the dedication. And I was like, I gave her the manuscript, almost the final manuscript to read, and she was like, I don't know if I'm going to like it. If I don't like it, like, it's a dedication. You have to have that part of the book, so I took it out. So you guys both taught me patience when I wanted speed, resilience when I wanted relief, and integrity. I would just have filled with these. This book is here because of the foundation you built, the lessons you've taught and continue to, and the belief you held for me even when I've doubted myself. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to dedicate this book to my parents, Brain to Driven.
Thank you.
Okay. Dad? Okay. Uh, I know it's a very interesting moment. And so the book is basically broken down into it's broken down to 14 chapters, 3 appendices. The appendices, one is John's daily blueprint for success, my breathing method, and my burnout protocol. And it will be available shortly online. So you'll be able to learn more about the book. Beautiful, beautiful book. It's a hardcover book. It is cataloged in the Library of Congress as of early this morning. If you're watching this, April 17th. So let's talk a little more about the book. First thing I want to say, there are some people that couldn't make it today, but they were invited. And I want to thank them. I really don't mention people in the book, just my parents and these other people that actually made this moment very, very special for me and for a lot of people. And I think, when you can think about a book and you can think about the fact that it has so much power that you just wouldn't realize what's actually happened. And there is a certain part in the book, and of course, if you don't know this, I'm trying to find it. Yeah, I believe it was page 13. Otherwise, I have it digitally. But you guys know I do a lot of stuff on air with you. I think this is probably the most emotional moment, and I talked about things before. Let me pull it up in my notes because I have it right here. So again, it is called, what's that? Page 14. Okay. We renumbered the book a few times here, guys, and then there was another version that we submitted. So page 14, I'm going to read the part and what happened. So my parents, longtime family friends, and also mine, Mr. and Mrs. Robert Agnoli, they were invited today, but I think they might have had some technical challenges, but I appreciate them for dropping everything to assist. Mr. Agnoli drove my father. By the way, my dad flew him from Florida. He dropped him to fly in from the airport to the resort, Hunter Mountain, so they could get me home safely. Thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate that. I'm touched. Friendship is a word that's often thrown around today, and many don't understand it correctly. A friend is someone who's there for you without judgment, through the thick and the thin, and the good times as well as the challenging ones. Knowing that support was on the way brought a sense of relief. I hadn't felt all that. Thank you. Thank you so much. So getting back more to the book. The dedication is important because I couldn't have done the book without them. This book is dedicated to them, as I mentioned, for everything they've done. And you're welcome. And it stems back something that I built JCM Academy on, which incidentally actually launched today, just an hour ago. I didn't want to launch it until we had the book. And that's where you can find more resources about, this free content and stuff that you can get from everyone. Thanks so much for that. Really appreciate that. For the lessons that they've taught me and so much. And it doesn't end there, it continues. Life is a journey. It doesn't end when you've reached your destination. People think when you've reached your destination that you're successful, and that's okay. But it's important to know that it's about your journey, about your belief. A wise thing was said: if you believe you can, you're right. If you believe you can, you're also right. So belief, which is also circling on my hat, you see, believe.com. Is the reason. But a big, warm welcome and thank you to Mr. and Mrs. Robert Agnoli for doing what they did, for also spending time with me at my home. Really do appreciate them. Sorry that they could not make it here today. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the support, guys. And now there's another special moment that I would like to share. There couldn't be any more. I never do this. I've been on the air 4 years and look, guys, almost 4 months. I've never done anything emotional on the air. It's always factual. It's always this. I talk about other people and things that happen. I've never shared anything emotional with people. I think other than people maybe passing away and talking about my grandparents like that. But I've really never shared anything this emotional about life live right now happening. So, if you'd like, I would be honored to make your first, my first actually, signature, a signed copy on your book if you present it to me. I'm going to go ahead, ladies and gentlemen, and sign the book. So, what I do is I generally open the front cover like this, and I write right up here. This is what I'm going to do a little differently. This is my parents. To my parents. For all you do. And I thank you as there are no words to express my gratitude. And then when I sign everybody's book, this is like a special part. Stay driven. So if you come and see me live, you'll see Stay Driven, John C. Morley, signature, right underneath, author. Okay. So that was my very first copy signed. Maybe someday you'll actually come and I'll be able to sign your copy. So another momentous moment. The thing about this is it can be challenging, right? You know, when you start something, and I know the first time I started my book, it didn't go anywhere. You know, the key is not ending once you start, because you know the road is not always easy, right? If there's a bumpy road, thank you so much for your feedback. If the road is bumpy, do you keep going? Yeah. People said to me, John, well, if you got a bumpy road, what do you do? I still remember to this day going to Italy with my mom's parents, my grandparents, and we were in this Fiat car. I think it was a red Fiat. And I remember us being on this, they're winding roads and they're bumpy. And the road was so bumpy, right? And we get back to the radio and say, oh, he had a phrase. He's like, you know, stop a little bit. If he didn't want us to talk, he would say, stop a little bit. And then, Grandpa, this road is bumpy. Don't worry, it'll go away. And he was right. So the thing is, we have that moment, but that whole thing about the road, the bumps are in the past. So your challenges are going to be in the past. If you set your focus on the future, because you see, what we put our energy on, that's our thoughts, what we focus on, that's where the energy is going to flow. If you focus on good things, more good things are going to flow in your life. If you focus on more things you're grateful for, more things your life will show up you can be grateful for. If you focus on things you hate, things that are challenging, things that pain you, things that hurt you, even physical pain of your body, you will get more of that. I know, I'm living proof. I broke my tib and fib. I'm not going to go through a whole recap of the book. I'm definitely not going to do that. You need to get my book. But what I want to ask, and I'm going to start with my dad, because this is an interview. I'm going to ask him a question. I'm going to say, Dad, what does all this mean to you?
So far, now I can say I'm very, very impressed.
And now I'm going to turn it over to my mom. Her name is Elisa. What does this mean to you, Mom?
We're so proud of you. Really, just as like you said previously, no words can truly feel how your dad and I really feel. You've always been wonderful, wonderful.
Thank you. And another important question that I'm going to ask you, and again, I told them it'd all be easy questions. It was what kind of questions? I said there won't be right or wrong answers, guys. Did you ever imagine or fathom in the back of your mind that I would do something crazy like this and write a book? You probably didn't think I would break my leg, but did you ever fathom?
The answer, John, is no.
Okay. And Mom, I'm going to ask you the same question. She has a heads up because she gets to hear the question, so she actually gets to think a minute, right? I know.
Well, you are a very determined person. And there's so much that has to come out of you. I'm not surprised that you did this. I'm very, very proud that you did this.
So, some very interesting questions. I have one more question. I'm going to ask my dad first. I'm going to ask my mom a different question, so you're not really the edge. I'm going to ask you, being an intermediate skier, which I was for many, many years, and breaking my tib and fib, What went through your head the moment you heard that I broke a bone in my body and I was in a hospital? It wasn't the first time I broke my bones, guys. I broke them when I was younger. But breaking your leg and no one being around, okay, at Albany Medical in New York, that was not fun.
Well, my first impression when I knew he was going to ski, I didn't like it, and he wanted to try it, and he did. Unfortunately, he had a negative impact on his body by doing it.
So what I want to share with you guys is the skiing, the negative impact wasn't for anything I've done or anything I've taught. I've had some great instructors at Hunter Mountain, but I want to attribute this and tell you why this happened, because I'm an intermediate skier for many years. And so the reason I share this with you is because of bad conditions. Now, the resort was actually given away, which was a nice thought of the owners to their grandkids, but they didn't know anything about money. They didn't know anything about resorts, skiing, nothing. And the infinite wisdom decided to open on a very bad day. The weather was saying you shouldn't open. I started on a small slope, which is always the green. And I went to the blue. I went down the hill and I locked my left leg after 2 turns. My tib and fib snapped. Now, here's the most remarkable thing. I didn't have any pain. I blocked the pain out. I'm just going to share one line in the book, and that was the people in the hospital thought I was on drugs. My mind power blocked that out. All right. So I'm going to ask you a question, Mom. Obviously, nobody wants their son or daughter to get injured. But when you knew that I injured my leg and you knew that you could not get there, what was going through your head?
Well, what was going through my dad immediately without any thought, he went out, seized the first plane he can get back to as quickly as he could, stay in contact with that.
So they basically, the day roughly the time they broke it, I called them that night, and then they were pretty much there the next day. They couldn't come. It was late. They couldn't do anything. Then so basically I came back. I was in the hospital. I stayed at the resort. It was overnight. So I think they came like the next day or that following day. Because obviously I was still in the hospital. I had to wait till I came out of the hospital. They had to come and pick up my car and stay in Hunter Mountain. So again, very remarkable thing. And so there's a lot of people out there I know on LinkedIn, other social media, and they try to use a title like this. But it's one thing to use a title, but it's another to have lived the title. Author reads from thanks so much. We appreciate that. I'm not doing an author read here, so thanks. I appreciate that. By the way, if any of you are wondering who I'm talking to that are watching us on cable or TV or radio, I have another feed on the side here from TT, and they're asking questions. Some people are asking legitimate things. Some people are saying things sentimental, and other people are just trying to push their way through, which would basically be that they are not being intentional. Sorry about that, guys. Some of them are not being intentional, and they're trying to put themselves first. And I've got to put my foot down today and say, today's my day. I usually never take my day. Today's my day and my parents' day. This isn't your day. Just being honest. I never really did that. And that was something else I learned is that you need to be intentional in life, not rude, not derogatory, but intentional. This is my moment and their moment. So really appreciate that. This has been an amazing, amazing show. This is definitely different than the typical inspiration of your life. And so to everyone watching or listening or chatting or whatever you're doing, this moment is personal for me. But ladies and gentlemen, the message is for all of you. For all of you. I wrote this book for all of you. Not to tip my hat and say I'm a good writer. Not to have people give me sympathy. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for you guys to read my book in whatever format you want and to seriously become aware of things in your life. After every chapter, this is something I did very uniquely. And I also want to give a thanks out to James Puza, who's actually one of our graphic designers at Orbital Media, who also helped make this book possible. Without James, we wouldn't have been able to get all the nice little graphics. We have some nice little graphics in the book. We kept it simple, but they mean something. So, for example, on our first chapter, we have the turning point, and you'll see there's an arrow on the turning point. We just kept it very simple. But at the end of every chapter, and again, we made it double spaced so you guys can read it, so you don't have to worry about not being able to see it. You can still get a magnifying glass if you want. So then at the end of every chapter, for example, chapter 1 says pause and reflect. And I'll just read one of the questions because I'm not doing book read. That's what I do at my studies. What moment in your life forced you to slow down, and what did it reveal? What I want to say to you before we wrap up, because we're almost out of time. We never run out of time, right? No, of course not. This is the time's really flying today. I will tell you that when you do something in life and you keep doing it and you push yourself to do it, oh, I got to do it. I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to keep stopping. I got to keep going. I can't stop. I'm going to tell you something. You're going to stop. You're going to stop in a way that you may not like. It could be something medical, it could be an accident, it could be a relationship breakup, it could be whatever. But these things are actually a positive thing in our life. And I'm not going to share that whole meaning because that's what the book is about. I am very grateful for what the book did. The book was not only something that taught me something, how to write and be better at that, because I've been an author for a while, but not a book published author. I've done articles online for many things, including JAG and so many things. It taught me something I still learn every day I read the book, even more awareness. Something as simple as eating. A long time ago, I would be, how fast can you eat? Now it's like, put the fork down between each bite. Put the spoon down between each bite. Where do we have to go? Nowhere. So I had somebody saying, John, we don't have time for awareness. Well, you know what? Those are people I don't have time for in my life. And I've also learned that I need to be more intentional with not only the things I do, but the people that I allow in my life. That's personally, and that's business. It's not about respect. It's about much more than that. So what's that? Yes, I want to thank James Puzo for all the work. James also helped us do the cover. So a big kudos to James at Orbital Media Hub. So thank you so much, James, for that. Really, really do appreciate that very, very much. So if you're feeling drained, guys, right now, know this, you're not stuck. You're not alone. You're in a transition state. And yes, it's time to close out the show. If you have the ability to shift, to grow, to rebuild, to become something greater than where you are right now, that's what Drained to Driven, the book, is about. Thank you so much, Mom and Dad, for being here today. Thank you for sharing in this very special moment. And thank you all, from my parents to James to everyone, for being here. Mr. and Mrs. Agnoli, for being the foundation of everything I've been able to build. This is just the beginning, guys. JC Academy is going to take this, as not Emil would say, up, well, more than a few notches. Take care, everyone. I'll see you soon. Check out BelieveMeAchieve.com, and let's make our lives even better. Let's stay drained and driven. I hope to see you.